All right, are you with me, girls? Come on. Well, hello, everybody. So, my dogs really are hilarious. All I have to do is call Macy and say, you want to go in the garden? And she's, boom, automatically there with me. Roxy takes a little bit more encouragement, but it's getting to the really warm point of the day. However, put my stuff down here so I can aim this camera. We've got something going on. Okay, it's been a while, but do you guys remember we planted potatoes? This is one of the containers, obviously, and as you can see, we've got some dye back in here. So, that all being said, get you positioned. What I'm going to do before it gets too much hotter and before I roast and broast out here, I'm going to start digging out some potatoes. Now, these potatoes, I want to be clear, when you grow potatoes, there are several, well, there's at least 2 different ways that I'm aware of growing potatoes. What I have done here is grow what we would call a new potato. So that's a fresh potato. It's not a potato that you necessarily would keep in storage. They tend to be on the smaller side, which I love those. I don't know about you, but I love a good fingerling potato roasted in the oven. Now, I pulled out earlier, I had 2 good size turnips in our small bed over there. So, since I got those out, and since I've got dye back, I might as well go ahead and take advantage of the situation, or so I thought, and start harvesting out the potatoes. Look at that. Okay, let me go on ahead and put you on hyperlapse here. I'm gonna aim you into the bucket so you can see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay, let's go. Okay, so not a super great harvest out of there, but I probably let that bucket go a little bit too long. I got just a little bit too busy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over here because we have 2 of them. So here's the second one. Now I will say that the starts that I had for this one were stronger, healthier. The other bucket had older ones, and honestly, if you want to be grossed out, encounter a mushy moldy potato. But all I'm gonna do is literally just reach down in here around the plant and see what I pull out. I want to see what the potato is like, because you know what a potato at the store is like, just like I do. Okay, so we want a potato that's nice and firm. And I think the other thing too is these buckets are holding on to water really well, so you can see we've got some mushiness. So I'd noticed that on the other one, but it's a good sized potato. So I find this encouraging because that means that they were able to size up in here. And sometimes when you're doing experiments like this, guys, you have to be willing to accept maybe smaller harvests. And just know that the first time, second time that you do something, you're probably not going to have great success with it. Okay? I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys out. That's what I'm thinking. that. Throwing out the ucky potato. Because these, you can kind of see here, they're starting to die back. Let me turn you around, get you in here, so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe. Okay. All right, and see, we've got a little teeny tiny little potato there. Okay. Oftentimes you can just pull up like that and then you'll get this. Now, I'm gonna go on ahead and get those off. Here's some little teeny tiny ones. I'm not sure. I might have been able to let this go a little bit longer, but based on the other one, I didn't want to put it to chance. So, get rid of that. Pull that. Ooh, that's a that's a jumbo. I don't know. Yeah, we've got, see that? So, I will say lesson number 1, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, if any of you have experience with growing potatoes this way, but just going off of what I'm observing here, these containers are holding more moisture than I gave them credit for. So they need to be watered a lot less. That's number 1. Number 2 would probably be making sure that I have really good potato slip starts. And like I said, I did get them at the very end of what would be considered our growing season. So I was quite literally getting the leftovers, which would explain why they were so cheap. But in the future, I can do better than that now that I have some experience under my belt. Doing this, I'm also aerating the soil because I can take this and clean out the roots pretty much like I'm doing right now. And then reuse the soil after I add some vermicompost to it. So yeah, definitely too much water, I think. And I can feel the groupings under here. See, like that. This one, nope, almost, not quite. So that is the good thing about this, is you've got very large root clusters that you can grab and yank up. It's little things like that that can make life easier sometimes. Okay. Okay, so overall, not the biggest haul. Show you what I do have. we've got this in new potatoes, which this is plenty for me for at least the next week as far as potatoes go. Definitely enough to go with the turnips for dinner tonight. But this is kind of part of gardening, and even urban gardening. You just have to sometimes be willing to try and fail, and you have to be willing to try and fail multiple times, because I guarantee you you're going to fail more than once, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so if you get really good at failure, things like this aren't going to bug you, and you'll be able to cope a little bit better when unforeseen circumstances occur. All right, so I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to toss out all of those old roots and mushy potato plants, because they kind of are smelly. And I will see you guys on the next video. So as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. And leave your comments down below, okay? And I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye.